All right, I think apparently we might be live at this point.
Oh yeah, it just came up live. Yeah.
I do not see it on my.
See if we get anybody on.
Yeah, we'll give a second.
What's the weather like up there this morning? It was
raining, of course.
Is it raining? It was 46 when I got up, and clouds are moving in now. But I just moved the truck, and it's kind of nice out. I mean,
really? Good for you,
for early March, it was nice.
Yeah, heaven forbid I get a day up here with
no precip.
Yeah, right.
Remember that
sunshine?
Remember, Monk always said up around the trailer it rained because there's the clouds that kind of hung around the mountains.
Yeah, I guess
you might have something about it. There might be something to that. Do we wait till we get an audience, or we just start talking?
Yeah, we'll go on here in a minute.
Oh, there we go.
Come up my phone that we're live. So.
Yeah. Okay. Up around the trailer. Yeah. Wow. Now you didn't send out a reminder, but I was able. Came up on my feed like the second thing.
Yeah.
Why is that? If you send out a reminder, I can't find. Or if I click the get the reminder thing, I can't see it. This is like the second.
Well, again, I think it has something to do with this StreamYard program that we use.
Okay.
It's a third party, so it plays a little bit with the
right,
the Facebook stuff. So, all right, if you are on, say hello. All right, we got a few people on here, brother.
Do we?
They were up to 5.
Okay, all right.
Well, I know that you're 1 and I'm 2. So we have a few more.
The theater is getting full. I don't know why I don't see. Oh, Joey's good morning, Joe. How's everything in the Pearson family? It's always good to see Joey. All right, it's 5 after. Why don't we start a show?
I'd say that's a good thing to do.
Well, welcome to Saturday morning Smack It Jack. I got my coffee. You got your coffee, Joel?
Right here, Brother Keith.
All right. Well, sit back, relax for a half hour of hilarity, and we will be right back.
There we go.
From the Somerset Studios in Westchester, Pennsylvania, it's Smack It Jack Live with your co-hosts Keith and Joel Slenderman.
Top of the mountain. Oh, what do we have here?
What do I have on here, Keith? You know what this is?
A miner's cap. Well, you're doing some plumbing underneath the sink, maybe?
It is one of the best investments I've ever made, quite frankly. It is a painter's best friend, aside from a brush and a roller. Right?
Okay.
I can actually see what I am doing. Keith, I've been using one of these for years now.
Okay.
I use it out in the yard when I'm cutting the grass, maybe in the fall when it's dark out. I use it so I can see what I'm doing. Use it up in the attic when I'm cleaning out insulation or whatever might be in the soffits. I use it when I'm painting. How many times have you been doing something like painting and you're like, man, I cannot see a darn thing because the shadow's here, the shadow's there.
Yeah.
Wherever you're working, there's a shadow. This thing, I get it right where I need it to go, and I can see exactly what I'm doing. Highly recommend that you get one of these guys here. Has 3, it even has a red light on it. Not quite sure what to do with the red light, but
you're backing up
3 different levels. And it's just it's just like a headband.
Okay, so yeah, nice. Very nice, Joel.
So I highly recommend that anybody can get one of these things. They're like $10 or something. I got, let's see, Stephanie got me this for Christmas a couple years ago.
I should get one of them because sometimes, a lot of times now I'm working, doing my framing at night here at the shop. And when I'm so particular with the corners and, the lighting's not great in here to begin with, that would be a perfect compliment to my, and if I'm out on the bike and the batteries die, boom.
There you go.
That'd be enough to get you home if you're.
It might be enough to see your dashboard.
Yeah, I guess if you're out on your motorcycle and your lights go out, you got more problems than your lights. But
Yeah, because probably your bike's not running.
Right.
They also make they also make them like glasses with lights right here.
I've seen them. I don't. Would that? I think I might like what you have better. I'm wondering if that you would see that light too close to your eye.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. I've never had.
Yeah,
one
that's great idea. Great idea. Well, we got a couple of people on. Joey, Tara, Jim.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Very good to see you. And it says Barbara's on. That's weird. On my Facebook, it says Barbara's on.
Jim?
But on here, I don't see her. So, and Themis is on. Isn't that weird? The Facebook shows more people than the StreamYard.
Yeah, that is interesting. Who knows? This technology.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
Keith.
we're not scientists anyway. So what's going on, Joel? What do we have going on this week?
Well, as far as our show content here, that's actually been somewhat thought out. I've been doing a lot of painting. Hence the headlight here, right?
Hence the headlight, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about painting and maybe what we do cleaning out our brushes and rollers. Keith,
no, you're not talking about. Oh, okay, that kind of painting. I thought you were going in a artistic. Okay, all right.
No, this is artistic as I get. You know what this is, Keith?
That's a paint roller.
Yes, it is.
Looks like a 3/8 inch nap.
I think you are correct.
I like a 3/8 inch.
Yeah, this is actually pretty all-purpose, I must say.
Okay.
Guess how many times I've used this?
That looks like you. Oh, I was going to say it looks like you haven't used it at all, but since this is part of the segment, I don't. Shoot, goodness sakes, how many times?
I honestly can't remember. It's been at least 3 or 4 times that I've used this.
Okay.
All right. So you clean it out. Guess where all that paint goes?
Well, I probably, if you're doing it up there, it goes right into your septic tank. And
good point. I don't do it here. I take it home.
I take it home and let the
Delaware
County municipality take care of it.
Exactly. So when I rinse these things out, man, no matter how much I try to get the paint out of these things before I rinse them, like on the ceiling, man, it's amazing how much paint these things hold.
Yes. Yeah, especially when you're cleaning. I mean, you can use 100 gallons of water to clean, and they're still not clean.
Exactly. So, but I bought a paint cleaning tool before we get into the stats and everything. Let me show you my paint cleaning tool here. You ever use one of these, Keith?
Yes, when I used to work maintenance at Painter's Crossing, yes, they work great. And they're also good to use right next to your brand new black car.
Gee, how do you know that, Keith?
Yeah, paint goes all over the place.
Yeah. Well, last week...
They do work. They really work.
Yep. Last week was the very first time I've ever used one of these. And I discovered you can keep it pretty contained. I did it in our utility sink.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And in a bucket. So I'd rinse and then I put it in a bucket and pull it out and it spins. For those who don't know what this is, you put the roller down here and you pull on that handle. It's just like a corkscrew handle. You pull it out and it spins the paint out of the roller, pretty much is what it does. And it does a nice job, I have to say. You have to make sure you got it in that bucket because it does spray the paint out pretty straight. So if you have it kind of this way or kind of that way, you're going to get paint on your ceiling. So you gotta be careful with it, but it is pretty effective. So you did yours next to your brand new Mustang? Or
no. Actually, it was back. No, but I remember using them at the maintenance place out there, and they did work. Now, my whole thing. How much did you pay for your roller?
These are actually good rollers. These are, I'm not sure, probably $4 or $5 a piece or something.
Okay. All right. See, now that's where after painting at the house and all that, yeah, I didn't have one of them at my house. I just I just started throwing them out. I would, and they say the better the roller you have, the better paint job you end up with. But I always found that it's just so much work cleaning those things.
Yep.
So much water. Yep. So I would get the cheap, the Econo pack of 10 of them or whatever, and then when you're done for the day, and then if you're going to paint the next day, I just put them in a paper bag or a plastic bag, and they will stay overnight. But when you're done with, I just throw them out because to me, I don't see much difference, unless your wall's in perfect shape, which my walls, wherever I painted, have never been in perfect shape. So that's what and it just seems to be so much work to get those things clean.
It's a lot of work and a lot of time to get them clean. The better your roller, the more times you can use them, and the less of the nap comes off as you're actually painting.
Yes. Well,
when you go into the cheaper ones, you run the risk of, when you're done painting, having that like rough, a few rough spots of the nap coming off.
And that's what I will say about, and probably even the good ones, the first time you use them, there is that, you kind of have to like take them and pull off all the excess stuff. And that is true. So, you wash them out and,
right.
Yes,
so I have, in the room that I just finished, I have one that I used yesterday in a plastic bag, ready to go home and me to clean it out at home. Now, before I clean it out, I'm going to take my all-purpose tool and try to squeeze out as much of the paint as possible, maybe onto a paper bag or something, let it dry so I can throw it out. And then I will rinse it out in the sink. So let's take a look, not to belabor this point too much, but, a lot of us paint at home, and, what's the good and bad of painting at home?
Right. Yeah. Pros and cons.
Yeah. So when you clean your paintbrushes, make sure the paintbrush has all excess paint off of it. Scrape it against the side of the rim of it. And we're going to take a look at a paint can in just a minute here. Read the paint can and make sure you solvent it. Most paints now are latex paint, so you can clean them with water. When you believe the brush is free of paint, rinse. Wrap the paintbrush in heavy paper. All right, let's move down here. Disposing of the dirty paint water. So they do address what to do with that water, and they're suggesting that you do not run it down the drain. Set the bucket of dirty paint rinse water to the side. A warm climate works best. You can wait for the water to evaporate and the paint solids to settle to the bottom of the bucket. Now, if I waited for my paint bucket and the water to evaporate, it literally would be a year.
What do you have, a 5-gallon bucket? Yes, that's a great idea.
When the water evaporates, peel the dried paint residue from dispose the hard paint in the trash. So you wait till it dries, scrape it out, and put it in the trash. Or if you don't want to wait for the water to evaporate, set the rinse bucket to the side and allow the paint solids to settle on the bottom of the bucket. Then carefully tip the clear water at the top of the bucket onto a flat, grassy area that is away from the sewer and drains and other waterways. Then allow the liquids and the solid to dispose of them in your trash bag. So again, you're letting it sit, let the water come to the top, pour off the water, and then use the, just put the rest of the paint at the bottom into the trash. The paint solids will clean or, clog up your plumbing, damaging drains and piping and so forth. So, and again, once it gets to the water treatment place, it's not the best for that either. So folks out there, what do you guys do when you're painting? Or you can say, I don't paint at all. That's really fine. But I know everybody paints every now and then. Do you take great care to clean off your brush? Do you just throw your roller like Big Brother Keith? You just throw it in the trash? The other part about it, Keith, is that when you throw these things in the trash, these go to the landfill.
Oh, yes.
I think, is it worse running all that water, or is it worse for this piece of plastic and all this to go to the landfill for the next 5,000 years?
Right.
So you try to balance and weigh those odds and so forth. But anyway, that was on my mind yesterday and last week, folks, as I'm cleaning out the rollers and all that stuff. What do you guys do with your...
For some reason, I don't think Salvador Dali worried about his paintbrushes. He was whatever kind of hallucinogenics he was on or whatever. Good one, Joe. Hey, Betsy's on. Good morning, Betsy.
What?
Yes, Joe. Well, I seem to remember a couple times at the house washing my rollers out in the driveway and just, letting the water go to the, and we did have a drain that probably went into the ground first. And I guess that's not the best thing either. It's just, what do you do with man-made stuff that you don't need anymore? So it's
you think about all the construction that goes on.
Yes.
All the construction waste, even right here in this house when we had some things redone, all the waste.
Yep.
Bits of this,
it goes into a landfill because it's cheaper to throw it away and forget about it than it is to sort it out. And unfortunately, that's.
So Keith, one more thing before we move off of this paint topic.
Yeah.
Tell me, Keith, have you ever seen a paint can that looks like this?
Yeah, all the ones I've ever had. Yes.
Yes. Rusty around. This paint can is only a couple months old. I mean, it's not like it's been around here for years. We've had that paint. I guess maybe January is when we got this can of paint.
Wow.
And this is Benjamin Moore. This is a good paint.
That's paint. Yep.
And I'm still using it. And every time I open it, I'm like, man, I cannot believe how rusty this paint can is. Well, check this out, Keith. Ready for this? What's different about this paint can?
Looks like the whole thing's plastic.
Yes. Can you believe it?
I was just going to mention the other paint can. What I've seen, the last couple of paint cans I've gotten, they've been plastic, but they still had the metal rim around them, and then the metal lid.
This is Kills 2 primer. We just got this like 2 weeks ago. The entire can is plastic.
And what is this?
This is the primer. Kills.
Oh, yes. The best smelling paint on the market, I must say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have every window open in your neighborhood to use this stuff.
But it's an entirely plastic can.
And that only took, 150 years to come up with?
Yeah. Can you believe it? Now, I was at Ace Hardware yesterday, and I saw that there were some other paints that had the same plastic. I guess we have to call it a container. It's not a can anymore, right?
Right.
But exactly, how many years did it take for the paint companies to go to a plastic can?
Yes. Yep. I will say, back when I had my house, my basement was a little damp, and I always had, was always painting here or there. So the paint can I put in the on the basement floor. And more than once, if I needed the paint, I'd take the can up to wherever I am, stir it up again, and I notice it's dripping out of the bottom. So the metal bottom is deteriorating to the point where all I had to did was stir it a little bit, and I stirred a hole into the bottom. And that happened more than once. And those old, and these cans were there more than a couple of months, but they weren't there for 20 years.
Right.
So, what a breakthrough. Wow. See, that's,
plastic paint cans. So
they get the private industry into sending rockets to Mars, and then boom, all of a sudden everything opens up to, hey, let's just change this into plastic.
Innovation.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
So he still paints my numbers.
For paint today, I will not bore anybody more about paint, but it's certainly been on my mind. Look at this. I even have the original roller.
The bag. Look at that. Well, I tell you, you are something.
You know
else.
why I keep this, Keith? This bag? Because I keep these rollers in the basement, and in the basement, that's where the cat litter boxes are.
Oh, yeah.
That entire side of the basement covered with dust. You
don't want dust in your
So I'm like, I am not throwing this away. That goes down in the basement with
sure. And bugs and whatnot. It's a good idea. Yeah, good idea.
Exactly.
Once they're dried up, and put them in. Hey, I got a little snippet, Joel, before we get onto our next. Linda's.
Just like Keith.
Yes, I'm with you there, Joy. Yes. Well, that's a topic for another. Yes. Okay. Anyway. I've often wondered, how on Easy Pass now there's I think you might have touched on this last week, Joel, that there's not too many toll takers anymore. So a lot of the Easy Pass or everything's Easy Pass. So, and if you don't have it now, they say, what is that? They take a picture of your license and send you a bill.
Yeah.
And I always wondered what that was like. And I'm thinking, that's got to be expensive just to send out a bill. A couple weeks ago, I went down to Linda's for the day, and I forgot I was going to take my Easy Pass out of the truck, and I didn't. And I went down the long way just because it was a nice afternoon. And then when I left, it was getting kind of dark. I just wanted to get home. So I took the that new bypass that's down there.
Right.
And it's $4. And I said, well, it's cold. It's getting dark. I'm just going to do it. I'm always skeptical that it's like, well, what if they just send me a fine instead of the bill, But
exactly. Right.
It worked out. So today I went up to the mailbox this morning, and I got my state of Delaware Route 301. And I said, now this is like, look at all this stuff.
Wow.
And the envelope. The envelope I threw out, but this is all the stuff.
One trip?
One trip, yeah. And it says current toll activity, $5.60. So they charge $1.60 premium, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. To send out what's a regular stamp cost now? 50 cents, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. 45.
And of course, if it doesn't, you don't pay it, of course, they're going to come and find you and throw you in jail. But so that's it. It's so what did I do last week, Joel? I ordered a Easy Pass for my motorcycle.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I said the only difference is, it's the same thing. They charge you $3, which apparently is a $3 a year, just service fee or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And they don't really charge you for the thing. It's, they put $35 in your account or, charge you. And that's, but they say it's the same exact thing, only it's waterproof. So the guy said it's a good idea to, if you're going to be, and I don't expect to be wet, but I can tape that in somewhere and just leave it there forever or put it in back, something like that. So
interesting. Yeah. I never even considered getting a separate one for the motorcycle. I didn't realize they made them. Yeah, well, yes. I knew they did because all our accessory books, catalogs that we get, they have all these, clip holders or, that you can put onto your handlebars and all that kind of stuff. So I knew they existed, or at least I knew that, people used them on their motorcycles. So I said, why not? Let's and I wanted to get a black one, but no, it's that kind of off-white faded plastic color. Yeah, it looks like it's already been sitting on your bike.
You're right. Yes, yeah. They put it out in the sun in a back lot for a couple of years and then give it to you.
Well, they probably put them out there and it's like, oh, this one's ready to go. That one's ready to go.
You're right. Yeah, they got a test color that they yeah. So anyway, that's I'm excited to get that in a couple of weeks. And something else, real quick. It might have been that same day. I was coming in and I was just north of Wilmington. And did you ever notice, like, right at when a light changes from yellow to red, there's like a flashing white light?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Well, it happened the other day, and I was, sometimes, especially on a bike, you get to a certain point where it's a really stale yellow, but if I'd have to slam on the brakes, you got to put your feet down. You got to start all over again. It would have really been a struggle to get stopped there. So I just opened it up a little bit and blew through. As soon as I got to the intersection, it turned red, and there's probably somebody behind. There's always somebody behind you, no matter how late you are.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And I saw that, just like a strobe bright light, and I'm thinking they took a picture of my license, and I'm going to get a fine in the mail.
You think that's what they did?
I haven't got anything yet, but it's this thing took me. I said it's probably on the same trip that I did this, and this is probably Linda will know, close to a month ago that I went down there. So I'm not sure. I've heard they're starting to do that in the cities.
Okay.
But that's the case. It's going to be more than $5.60.
It's going to be more than $5. Yeah.
It
might be $105.
Hopefully we won't find out.
Keith, in driver's ed, I think I learned that particular spot when you're driving that light's yellow is called no man's land, I think.
Okay.
When you get into that yellow, you're like, you're either going to go or you're going to stop. Now, if it's
Right,
been
yes.
yellow for a little bit, if it's been yellow for a little bit, probably stopping is a better idea there than rolling on the throttle.
And I agree with you, but
yes,
if I was in the truck, I would have just slammed the brakes on and I would have come to, but it's being on the bike. It's like, you can accelerate quicker, and it's like, man, I could probably make this. And not the smartest thing to do on a motorcycle, but I was, like I said, I was in the front of the line, and
sure.
Anyway,
I'm right there with you, man. All right, man. So, Keith, you had mentioned that there is a birthday today.
Oh, you know what? There is a couple birthdays I've been meaning to tell you, and I don't see our other recipient on today, but my dear friend Larry's birthday. Lawrence's birthday is today. He's a little bit older than our my dear niece Sophia, but it's her birthday. And how old is she? I think she's 17.
My eldest daughter, turned 17 today. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to sing. Are we gonna do a happy birthday thing at the end of the show, Joel, or what are we gonna do here?
Sure, we can do that. I'm certain. Although she just texted back to me, so she must be up. Yeah. So 17 years ago today, Keith, my life changed forever.
And that's kind of weird because 16 years ago today, my life changed forever too. Where's it?
There we go.
Wow, no kidding, Joel. 17 years ago today. What time of day was Sophia born?
On a Saturday.
Right. No kidding.
Saturday.
But what time? What time?
I think it was like 2 a.m. I can't remember. All I know is I was like a zombie, and then.
Well, I remember that I must have gone to see you guys, but I remember you the whole episode of you guys being in the hospital and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Goodness sakes.
Crazy.
Yep.
So
Wow,
happy birthday,
17.
Sophia. All right, Keith.
Happy birthday.
Let's talk about a couple crazy stories, and then we'll get to our trivia.
Okay.
And do we have any?
Are you kidding me? I was just about to look, and then I had to go do something that.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right, well, let's talk about some crazy stories here. May 7th, residents of Tennessee Town were warned to be aware Friday morning when a mad zebra escaped from a truck and went wandering near an elementary school. Prescott South Elementary, Cookeville, posted on Facebook to warn local residents of unusual visitor to the town. The teacher at the school said she thought it had her account, or the school account, had been hacked, and then she ended up taking the pictures of the zebra as it was running around, or video of the zebra as it was running around. So they finally captured the zebra. It was only like 7:30 in the morning, so it wasn't too big of a scare for any of the students. But
I'm wondering how many, being in Tennessee, I wonder how many moonshiners just gave it up, just said, I'm going cold turkey. I can't deal with it anymore.
Keith.
Oh, no. Is this a 17-year cicada?
Yeah, and it is due out like now. 17-year cicada, been underground, literally living underground for like 17 years. You know, they're laid into like thin branches in a tree, and then they drop out of them and burrow into the ground, and then they're in the ground for like 17 years.
So they're actually alive. I thought they were just like cocoons that were, wow, that's something. It's kind of like I was in a band a while back. They've been underground for a lot more than 17 years, but it's just kind of the same thing. Nobody knows that you're there, and except for yourself.
So the nymphs fall from the trees and burrow back underground, starting the cycle again. So, so it's interesting. Now, it was 13 to 17 years ago. I can't remember the last time this big one came out. Does anybody out there know exactly when this the last time? I guess it was 17 years ago, which means that, I was in my adulthood, so I don't remember it being too big of a deal. So hopefully it's not too big of a deal this time, you know?
The only one I remember that was, you might not have been around, Joe, but we were up at the trailer coming back from church one day, and they were swarming. We had the windows, this time of year, I guess, early summer, whatever. They were flying into the wind. I mean, you were going through a cicada storm, and it was the grossest thing.
Wow.
I ever, and it never came back again, as far as I know. And I saw something yesterday popped up on Facebook or something like the news feed, areas that were probably weren't going to get it. Another area was in that zone that we weren't going to really be hit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they had, like blocked out areas. So,
yeah. Oh, good. Because I'm thinking, Keith, that, this may not be the best summer again for riding a motorcycle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, yep, wait 11 years to get a new motorcycle and boom. Yeah. Can you imagine getting hit with one of them at 60 miles an hour?
Like being hit with a golf ball or something.
You'd have to get right. You'd have to go to the paint shop every time you'd have to keep a roller with you on the motorcycle.
A roller and a scraper, right?
Yeah, yes, right. Spatula.
Folks, if you are getting anything out of this show today, we would love for you to smack the like button and love the love button. Give us a share if you wouldn't mind. That would be fantastic. Give a comment. Say, man, get off the air. Keith, I was thinking the other day of all the people that are on this show, meaning the two of us and all of the people who are watching. The two people least qualified to actually be on this show is probably you and me.
Yes. Yes. Because we've got.
There's a whole bunch of other people watching this show that probably know much more than anything about everything than we do, but we persist.
But that's why we have the I think that's our niche. We're not holier than thou, so to speak. We don't know more than the average guy.
Right.
And as you will find out, as Joel just mentioned, we know less than the average person about a lot of things.
That's right.
And that makes entertainment
our
enjoyable.
Our general knowledge aptitude is not very high.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to spend a whole half hour getting yelled at. Didn't we spend 4 years getting yelled at? Nobody likes that.
Right. Okay.
See what I did there?
Trivia. My friends out there, let's do number one. I think we have 4 today. And Keith's going to do his best to read these. I'm hoping you can see them, Keith.
I had the sweats earlier this morning. I said, I hope these things are in English today. My goodness sakes. All right, let's see what we got. We got some trivia here. Now, remember to write down, the one.
Yeah, number one.
Question number one, and put your, just so, we remember and you remember and all that kind of stuff. Established in 1872, what became the world's first national park? Oh, this was on PBS recently. You think I can remember? No. Sappho. Is that right? Sappho or Sappho? You got to be. Hold on one second. You read this.
Okay. Sappho.
My my just got a delivery from my buddy next door. Framing never sleeps. You know that song, Rust Never Sleeps? Well, Neil Young wrote it about the framing industry. Way back in, he was talking about Johnny Rotten. Is this a song about Johnny Rotten? No, the song wasn't about Johnny Rotten. It was a song about Keith Lenderman. But nobody knows who Keith Lenderman was. And at the time, Keith Lenderman wasn't even framing pictures. But Neil Young, is great as Neil is, knew that someday I'd be framing pictures. And the frame shop never sleeps.
All right, Sappho.
You know what we need, Joel? We need a gong. Remember the Gong Show?
I remember the Gong Show.
Just shut me up, Gong. Okay, Sappho was an
archaic Greek.
Okay, archaic Greek poet from which Greek island? Okay. Some of my Galanoses should know that. Themis, young Themis. In 1946. The ringgit was established as the official monetary unit of which Southeast Asian country? The ringgit. 1946. Okay.
Never heard of such a thing.
No.
How about we just stick with 3 of these today?
Okay.
All right. So number one, established in 1872, what became the world's first national park? Sappho was an archaic Greek poet from which Greek island? And then number 3, in 1946, the ringgit was established as the official monetary unit of which Southeast Asian country?
Okay.
So we will come back to them shortly, Keith.
Yeah, we already got it. Yeah.
Do you have this day this day?
No, I don't, Joel. And I was going to look a minute ago, and I just didn't have the time. So,
this is how we work, folks.
Yes,
but, when I do my research, I typically do it before the show. Keith tries to do it during the show. Yeah, well, that's what I do. Everything, my life revolves around, and the good thing about that is I'm 100% in angst. I guess that feeling of like this. My entire life, I feel like this. I don't know what it feels like to not feel like that. I'm out on my motorcycle on a beautiful day without anything to think about, and I'm like, you should be doing something, right? There's something else you need to be doing, right?
Yeah, something I didn't do a week ago or 2 weeks ago, or anyway.
Start making a list.
Yeah, you've told me that probably since the show started here, and a couple other people have told me that. And just the list, writing a list is on my list of things to do.
And that's what's making you all uptight as you're riding your motorcycle, right? You're like,
yes, yeah.
Gotta make that list. All right, Keith. Why did the teacher put rubber bands on our students' heads?
What? I don't know.
So they could make snap decisions. All right, number 2. Why did the 25-watt bulb flunk out of school?
Why?
He wasn't very bright. And number 3.
I should have known that one. Although it didn't quite flunk out.
Isn't that the joke you wrote?
That's another dream thing I'm going to talk about at one of our shows. Go ahead, Joel.
Number 3. What did the weather announcer say about his meteorology test?
What?
It was a breeze with only a few foggy patches. That's it. Don't blame us. Don't blame us. As a matter of fact, Keith, that was the second time around for those particular jokes. I don't know when we did them last, but I did not have a date next to them, so I thought it's been a while. So,
well, Joel, the thing about unmemorable jokes, see that?
Their upside.
It's new to me.
Yep, they definitely have their upside.
Yeah.
Keith, let's get back to our trivia. And
that's exactly it, Myron. That's what I have. Chronic anxiety. I'm gonna have to watch that movie, High Anxiety. Mel Brooks came out in the 70s, I think, and I didn't even know what anxiety meant. But now that I've experienced it my entire adult life, I should watch it and see. All right, let's go back here, Joel. What's our?
All right, where are we here? Do we start with this?
I think this is it, Joel. Okay, established in 1872, what became the world's first national park, and we have Betsy. Yeah, Betsy says Yellowstone. That I'm going to go with that. Sure.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Oh, very good, Betsy.
Right.
Very good.
Well done. Well done. All right, number 2.
Sappho was an archaic Greek poet from which Greek island? And, of course, we have to have the Italian to answer this. And Myron says Lesbos. The Isle of Lesbos. She was a woman, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Well done.
I get Themis might young Themis must not be on anymore because I know he would have known that. Okay, in 1946, the ringgit was established as the official monetary unit of which Southeast Asian country? Southeast Asia. Pakistan. I'm going to say Pakistan.
All right, here we go.
There you are, Themis.
Malaysia.
Oh, okay. I woke up in a really malaise this morning.
Was that? Did you have Indian food last week?
No, maybe that's why I woke up. No, I didn't. I'm on withdrawal.
Oh, I guess that was it. Sorry, we didn't do any more, did we?
No, it was just the 3 there.
We did get
very good, guys. Yes,
we could have gone on and on and on, but
But we digress.
We have to bring this stanza to a close here.
Yes.
The coda on this particular show. All right.
Any news? I've got my second shot coming up on May 18th.
Yeah, I knew that was coming up. Okay.
I've taken to putting myself on a middle shift that day in case I don't feel well. I took the following 2 days off because I'm a bit of a baby when I talked to a guy last night at the customer at the wine store, and he got sick as a dog on his first shot.
Oh, wow.
I haven't heard much of that yet.
No.
Most of them seem to be the second one, but as you know, you didn't feel well. You got the
J&J.
J&J. But Linda felt fine on her second, and Brad was sick as a dog. So I'm going to take the precautionary 2 days off just in case, because
I think that is very smart.
You know, I mean, if it's self-inflicted pain, which every now and then that happens, it's one thing, but regular sickness I can't deal with at work, so I'm just going to take a precautionary. And how about the kids? I guess Sophia's old enough to get it now.
Sophia had her first shot like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So she will be getting her second shot, I think, next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then
Caroline,
that age group
15?
is just coming in.
So
I think we're going to go with Caroline too.
Okay.
So we'll all be set. So now I think that the Caroline and Sophia can only have the Pfizer. I think it is. There's only one approved right now for that age group.
Okay, huh?
So yeah.
I wonder why that. Yeah. So okay, well, good. That's we're inching our way there. And hey, what's tomorrow, Joel? I think I might stop by the church in media tomorrow morning at some point.
Tomorrow, May
is Mother's Day.
9th is Mother's Day. Indeed, it is.
So everybody's got a mother, whether they're still here or they're up in heaven somewhere.
Yeah.
Think of mom tomorrow, because without mom, nobody'd be here, and our lives would be nothing without our mother. So think about mom tomorrow, and if you have a chance to stop by where they're resting or where they are, Betsy, how's your mom? I haven't seen Grandma in a long time. I hope she's doing well. So that's my.
Yeah, good job, Keith.
Yeah, that's
right. Happy
my
Mother's Day
homage.
to everybody out there.
Mom,
you have a great day tomorrow. Take a day off, mothers.
Yes, and if you're going out, they say this came up just because we're talking about the COVID thing. They're starting to relax all these things at restaurants. So if you're going out to a restaurant, stay away from everybody. If you go somewhere, go out. Outside in the patio or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Thanks for a while. I think that's about it, Joel. We're almost to
done.
an hour.
We have to get out of here.
Yes. Our half-hour show, we bumped it up at 15 minutes so we could get out 15 minutes earlier. Now we're just running 15 minutes longer. So this is going to be like, I don't know. We're going to have our own network at some point. I mean, if somebody, I can't remember, rhymes with tree stump, going to get their own their own platform. We should just have our own news channel, be on 24 hours a day. What do you say?
Yeah.
Tom? We can get a couple of different correspondents, maybe some of our audience members.
Until we get kicked off of Facebook completely.
Right, completely, yes.
We'll stay on Facebook for now.
Right, yes, right. So, all right, thanks for stopping by, guys. Maybe we'll see you next week. Depends on what the little brother's doing up at the new ranch up there. So, remember, thanks very much for everybody stopping by. Remember, you deserve a thought of your own.
So be in touch to learn, laugh, and live. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Jack up your heels, check it out, stack jack up your heels, stack Smack dead in the face. Check it up, check it up.